day would come, Chap. Not happy about it. I knew it was coming, though. Versatility was here early. Welcome back to Versatility. After our members-only live stream yesterday, he decided to stop by today. John, enjoy the game tonight. Not sure if you're still in here. Nephew's 13th birthday. Tell him I said happy birthday. Pray for Ohtani, I think you said. We'll talk about that in a second. Some interesting Ohtani news, chap. Kevin, how you doing? Manny from the Bronx, how are ya? Genetic, of course, how are you, sir? Corbin better have Polar Seltzer today. I'm all out. I got Waterloo. Waterloo. Nice catch, Turner. QB, how you doing, my friend? Ben, how are ya? Might have some streams during the offseason. Oh, yeah. We're going to do every other week during the offseason. QB, how's everything going, my friends? Mr. Bob Dylan, how are you, sir? I'm sad, chat. Bayo needs to bounce back real bad. I'm sad. This is our last watch party. Hopefully we can go out on a little bit of a bang here, chat. That's good, QB. Yeah, man, it's just, this is depressing a little bit, you know? It's the end of a season. End of a full season. Thank you. Yeah, I actually kept the top really long, so it looks kind of, I look like, I actually made myself look like Matt Damon from Good Will Hunting. Not saying I look like Matt Damon. The haircut definitely does, though. This is going to be weird, chat. There are some things we could talk about, though, today. Jeff Passan saying he thinks the Red Sox are one of the top teams to get Shohei Ohtani. Interesting. What's up, Eamon? Yeah, it hasn't been the best September, but we've been hanging in there. We've been still streaming every week, still having great conversations. Already through the first inning. Well, not technically yet, but I started a little late today. I couldn't get off. I had to eat dinner and stuff, but we're here. We're not missing the game yet. Yeah, Jeff Passan dropped the Red Sox as one of the top teams he thinks is going to be in on Shohei this offseason, which is really interesting. I don't know what to think about that. I honestly don't know what to think about. I'm nervous about the Shohei contract. I'm nervous about it. I think a lot of Red Sox fans are. Like, I would be shocked if any of you guys were like, yeah, I'm 100% okay with them throwing $400 million at Shohei Ohtani. You know what I mean? Like, I think, there's the top of the first done. I think what we're going to see this offseason, any team that signs him, right? I think we're going to see a lot of stipulations in the contract, which I think that's the only way I'm comfortable with the Red Sox really signing Shohei Ohtani to big money would be to make a lot of stipulations, right? He gets one salary if he's both pitching and hitting, and he gets another salary if he's just pitching or just hitting. Does that make sense? And I'm not saying like he only gets paid this certain dollar amount on the days that he's pitching, but say like this next season, right? He'll only be able to hit. He should be paid for only a hitter. And then when he's pitching and hitting, he's getting paid for both. And then once he's gone from either pitching or hitting, that's when you go back down to another salary, right? That, to me, right? Because you're getting one of a top 5 hitter in Major League Baseball, right? It's not like oh man, like we can't get him, his arm's damaged goods, like McCarthy's saying. Which Matt or Mark, it is, it's a very valid point, but he's still very valuable. I mean, the dude's insane. Who do I think replaces Bloom? I have no idea right now. I could not tell you. There really hasn't been much going on. There really isn't. We haven't heard a lot. We've heard different, like everything I've heard, I've thrown to you guys. The one guy right now who's kind of at the forefront right now is a guy named Mike or Sam Fold, who's the GM of the Phillies, which would be really interesting because he's also a very analytical based, very numbers type guy. He's a nerd, right? He's a nerd, but he played the game, and he was under Dave Dombrowski his entire front office experience. So that's a guy I think would be really interesting running the Red Sox. Is it someone that's going to be more like Bloom's motto, or someone that'll be more in the middle where he keeps the farm but also helps ownership spend? I hope it's someone in the middle, right? Because I would hate for it to be one extreme, right? Which is what we've gotten over the last couple of years, which has been Dave Dombrowski was one end of an extreme, and Ty Bloom was the complete other end of the spectrum, right? Realistically, whoever the next guy is coming in has to be somewhere down the middle. Has to be, right? Kim Ng, I'm all in on Kim Ng too. There are actually a lot of really great candidates. I'd be pretty happy with I think 4 or 5 of the people that have been mentioned so far, and Kim's name's one of them. We were talking about it. The only thing with Kim that I would be not nervous about but want to see more from would be how she spends big money, right? Because we never really got the chance to see that in Miami. And that's not entirely her fault. That's more so, I would say, ownership of Miami's fault. I'd assume her budget is very tight, right? But yeah, she's had a lot of creative trades down in Miami that have worked out really well. And some of them were for bigger pieces. You'd rather have Soto than Shohei? You like my haircut? Thanks, Eric. I appreciate it. I like it too, actually. I didn't hate it. What's up, Genetic? Soto versus Shohei is interesting to me. I think overall, Shohei would be the better overall player, I think, but I honestly would venture to say that Soto's the better investment, and I think it comes down to age, right? Shohei's not old. What is he, going into his 30th season, 28th season? Honestly, I'm not sure. I think it's 27. Yeah, I mean, I actually put out a video about it, about the Red Sox trading for Soto. I would be in for it. There were a lot of people who aren't in for it, but yeah, Soto is much more durable. Yeah. Which is a good thing, right? You need that. Yeah, so he'll be going into his age 30 season, Shohei. Why is he not in the lineup? I think he's dealing with stuff. Yeah, Soto's only 24. So that's a guy that's like the investment long term, in my opinion, is better than investing in Shohei long term, and it's strictly because of durability and age, to be honest with you. Right? They have sort of similar offensive numbers this year. Although what Shohei was doing this year was otherworldly at the plate. But either way, right? It's sort of similar. You're just not getting the pitching, right? You're investing all that money in no one that's gonna, who's gonna be able to pitch. I would assume Rafi was like, dude, I need a day off, Dave. There's 5 games left. He's got the opportunity to get 2 more RBIs plenty of times. He'll get there. Rafi will get 2 or 100. It'll be a 30 home. What is he at? 33 home runs, 96 RBIs or 98 RBIs. Didn't hear any pregame talk. Yeah, I think he's dealing with something. On top of that, too, yeah, they're letting kids play. After today, it'll be 4 games left. Pretty crazy. Season ends Sunday. This Sunday, season's over. Which is kind of crazy to talk about. What's up, Raji? Kind of crazy to think. Too expensive, too old. I think it depends on what the long-term... Everyone is saying, out of our misery, yeah. I did send out the hoodie, yeah. Mike, are you in here? I got to get your card in the mail, but everyone else's stuff is good. It's out for those of you who won stuff yesterday. Yeah, it sucks, Ruse. It really sucks to be proven so wrong. And it sucks because it was like 95% of the season the Red Sox didn't suck. And this last 5% of the season, they have been so bad. It's going to look like they're bad the entire year, which sucks. I was talking about this earlier, Eric. You're right in some aspects. You're right in some aspects where he is going to be very expensive, and he is on the older side, right? I think it just depends on the contract, right? I already said this. I think the one way I wouldn't be nervous about a Shohei contract is if it's set up with stipulations where next year, right, he's only going to be a hitter. So in my opinion, if you're going to pay him, you should only be paying him as a hitter, right? And then when he moves back into pitching and hitting, then you move into, okay, here's your full salary, right? And then once eventually, probably 3 or 4 years down the line, you decide to go one way or the other, that's when you get back down to that either hitter or pitcher salary. That's the only way, in my opinion, that I think a lot of Red Sox fans would be comfortable with it, right? Because, again, it's a big investment. When he's on the field, he's absolutely incredible. He's the greatest player in baseball right now, one of the greatest players we've ever seen, just pure talent-wise. But the injuries lately have been concerning. They have been. And so I think it's hard as Red Sox fans to do that. You think he avoids the adjustable contract? But that's what I'm saying is, like, everyone's mentioning the Red Sox as being in on Shohei Ohtani. That's sort of like did you just go yard? Yeah, you did. That's sort of like the rumor going around right now is that the Red Sox want Shohei Ohtani. Which, again, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, no, please don't get the best player in baseball, right? What's Abreu's future? I'm all in on. I love Willy Abreu. I think what he's been able to do at the plate in his sort of small sample size here is really, really impressive. I think that could be a guy who, could be extremely valuable in the outfield next year. But we'll see. He pitches on average. He pitches about little over 20 games this season. His last 3 seasons, it's been 23 games, 28 games, and 23 games. And he's been fantastic when he's been on the mound. But that's another thing to think about. Ohtani puts people in seats. It also brings sponsorships. You know what I mean? It's a big moneymaker to have Shohei. There's a reason the Angels didn't trade him. Right? One, it's the optics of it's the optics of I'm trading the best player in baseball. You know, that's always going to be a lose-lose situation for him. And it's the optics of look at any highlight you see of Shohei at Angel Stadium, right? Even at away stadiums, there's Japanese ads behind them. They're getting a lot of money from that. That's double your ad sponsorship because they only want their name on there when Ohtani's up there because so many people in Japan are watching him. Yeah, well, I have a bunch of different hypotheticals regarding the current roster written down for off-season talk. Abreu's definitely one of them. Abreu's definitely one of them. Justin Turner's another one. Adam Duvall's one. Cedar Rafaela. What's up, Robbie? How you doing, man? Yeah, that trade was an absolute win for Bloom. Reyes to me has a spot. I think he's got value as sort of that utility guy, and I think that's what we're gonna see. Is just straight utility from him. You think Shohei is just too popular to accept an incentive-laden contract? Here's the thing, though, and Jeff Passan was talking about it on Carabas's baseball podcast, not the Red Sox one, the other one, Baseball is Dead. he was saying that, look, like Shohei doesn't like the financial side of baseball, right? He's been taking lower contract deals just to get the financials out of the way so he could focus on the competition. There's a possibility that if the Red Sox are like, hey, man, look, we'll give you a 10-year deal. We'll make sure that you have a roster built behind you that can compete. We'll make sure that you have stability over the next 10 years. So the only thing you have to focus on is playing baseball. And we'll let you choose which way you want to go. We'll let you choose whether you want to do both or just one, but we're going to pay you whether or not, depending on your decision. That might be something Shohei's interested in. Like, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities. And I think if you're a smart owner, right, you're not going to give him straight $500 million. Not after a second Tommy John, you're not going to give him $500 million. And for as much as we crap on ownership and for as much as ownership has been sort of all over the place over the last, 10 years basically, right? They've always made pretty decent financial decisions for the most part. You know, there are obviously some misses in there, but I think they've been pretty smart. Haven't been following the farm too heavy this year. Will York and Meyer, be in the majors next year? Meyer probably not. Maybe. What's up, Lupo? Maybe Meyer at the end of 24, but that's if he really comes back strong next year. I mean, you'd have to be really strong, right? He's in Double-A. So I think... Look at Bob almost just had a really nice play. York is probably closer. I don't know if York's going to be here to start 24, to be honest with you. And when we're looking at trying to trade, because like if you don't get Yamamoto, you don't really have a true number one on the market free agent wise anymore for a starting pitcher. Snell's good. But is he a bona fide ace? I don't know, right? I don't think Nola is a bona fide ace. I'm trying to think. Like the other name that sticks out, Lorenzen, Eduardo Rodriguez, if he opts out, right? I don't think those guys are certified aces. So it's gonna have to come be a trade most likely, especially if you don't get Yamamoto, right? And that means giving up a big-time prospect. And if you don't want to part with Meyer or Anthony or Teal, that probably puts Duran, Rafaela, and York as your top three most tradable prospects because York is really close to being Major League ready. Oops, I put show at the end of this. York is close to being Major League ready. Rafaela is Major League ready. And obviously Duran's Major League ready as well. So... I wouldn't get too attached to York, is what I'm saying. Is not paying bets was a smart move? I said they were generally smarter with their money. I don't think Meyer looked all that great this year. I don't follow the farm. Yeah, you are kind of wrong, Genetic. He didn't look great, but it was because of an injury. We went over his splits last live stream. After his injury, he tried to play through it, which was a dumb idea. He admitted it was a dumb idea. He did not look good after his injury. But before his injury, he was better than fine. So I'm not worried about Meyer at all. He'll get healthy. He'll be back next year. Be perfectly fine. Could we trade for a decent lefty reliever for Valdez and Dahlbeck? Probably not a decent one. Yeah, I don't think anyone should be worried about Marcelo. I would probably guess Verdugo's traded. Yeah, I think we talked about this. Oh no, we talked about this in our members only live stream yesterday. Cabrera and Puck from the Marlins would be a fantastic get, in my opinion. Yeah, I just don't think ownership in the front office in general, because there's still going to be a lot of pieces in the front office that are not staying the course, but understand the roster really well, and I think a lot of them are kind of all set on Alex Verdugo. I think honestly, if the Red Sox wanted Alex Verdugo to stay, they would have already extended him. Hope they hold on to York. I want to see what he can do. He's been a prospect for a while now. Yeah, York has been a prospect for a while. He had that bad 2022 and really bounced back in 2023. He's my favorite hitting prospect in the minors. I really like what he can do at the plate, and I think he could be really, really impressive at the big league level. I just, when you're looking at the ceilings of these guys, right, and you're trying to figure out who to hold on to and who to not hold on to, I think it comes down to, at most costs, you're going to try and hold on to Maya, Teal, and Anthony over everyone else. Yeah, Ohtani's a different breed, man. He's literally a different breed of player. It's crazy. What's up, Jeffrey? Think the Sox will make a big splash for number one starting pitcher? I think they will. Give Dahlbeck a shot. He got a shot multiple times. It's all of 2022, basically. Who on the Red Sox opening in 2020? I don't understand the question, Jeffrey. Sorry. Yeah, I think Wilyer Abreu could end up being a better player than Alex Verdugo. I know Tyler Milliken had talked about this a lot on his podcast. But I think Willier's going to be a really impressive player, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm not saying those guys are completely unattainable versatility, but what I'm saying is if you are the Red Sox right now, you're going to try and ship those other two top 5 guys in York and Rafael, in my opinion, before you offer the Anthony, the Meyer, or the Teal. Right? I don't think those guys are completely unattainable, although I do think Teal is completely unattainable. But I think outside of Teal, right, the price for Meyer and Anthony are going to be super high. It's going to be a tough one for them to... Speaking of Doogie. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be... I would imagine not, Eamon. I would say it's probably Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson probably has a Cy Young in both leagues. Roger Clemens probably does, right? The Houston Astros were in the National League when he was playing there. I'm trying to think of anyone else who would. Did Pedro have one? Oh, does he have one with who? The Phillies? Oh, the Expos? With the Expos. Yeah, okay. I would assume Randy has one on both leagues, right? Clemens definitely does. Trying to think of someone else who hopped over. No. Trying to think of Yankees pitchers. I feel like there's some Yankee pitchers. Yeah, I thought Randy definitely has one. What about Maddox? Maddox was mostly what? Cubs and Braves? David Cone? I don't think David Cone has multiple Cy Youngs, does he? I'd be pretty surprised if David Cone had one in both leagues. Oh, Alex Cora will definitely be back. That's going to be our video tomorrow. He announced today that he and ownership talked, and he'll be back next year. Am I playing Immaculate Grid or something? No, someone said, Eamon said Snell has had such a weird career where he's been average to below average and then has won a Cy Young in both leagues. Poppy's son's probably a few years off, I would guess. Yeah, that's going to be tomorrow's video. Is going to be on Alex Cora. And he will be back next year. He got the green light from ownership and announced that today. So we'll be talking about tomorrow and what that kind of means for the GM search. Why or why not it might make sense. I'll tell you right now, he makes a lot of sense. I think Alex Cora is People have had their issues with Alex Cora this year, but yeah, Jared Carrabis actually put out a great point today after the announcement that he's going to be back, and it was that he truly believes that there'll be an Alex Cora extension announcement right after they hire a new GM, because it would look bad if they extended him before they got a new GM. I mean, you can like critique Alex Cora's bullpen management all you want, but the dude had quite literally 2 people in his rotation most of the year and stayed above 500 until the month of September, right? That is unbelievable success. Like, that is unbelievable success. And so you might not like some of the stuff you did, and the guys in the booth mean absolutely nothing to me, to be honest with you. The only thing I care about is the win-loss record and the fact that Alex Cora was able to... there were 2 people. 2 people. Not to mention, he was not given a single shortstop until, Pablo Reyes, right? He was using Yu Chang, and then Yu Chang went down with an injury. You had Chris Sale, James Paxton, Corey Kluber, and Tanner Houck all injured at the same time on the second year. Yeah, it's going to need to be trades. It's going to all need to be trades. In my opinion. Unless you get Yamamoto or Shohei, right? But the same time too, Daniel, it's like, yeah, I do understand that, but I also don't think there's going to be a true GM candidate right now isn't going to be like, well, I'm not going to go here. I'm not going to go here because Alex Cora is the manager, right? I don't think there's going to be anyone in Major League Baseball, GM-wise, who's going to say that. I understand the idea of what you're saying. I just don't think it's going to come to fruition where a good GM candidate's going to be like, no. You know what I mean? Like, I think if you ask anyone around the league, and we've had people come in here to these chats and talk about it as fans from other teams, especially when we're playing those teams. Excuse me. Especially when we're playing those teams that are like, yeah, he's a top 3 manager in baseball, and he is. He just hasn't had the roster to do anything with it. Look at 21. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough for me. It's tough for me to understand the Alex Cora arguments. Like, there are times where I disagree with what he's doing, but overall, it's hard to argue with everything he's done, especially with the younger players, man. With the younger players, he's done really well. Julio Urias, I don't think anyone takes a shot on him. I think Julio Urias won't be in the league next year. No. Yeah, he'll be in Korea or Japan, or there's a Mexican league. He'll be one of those. I don't think he'll be here. But yeah, it's hard for me to say that he's overrated or he's not good at his job when, like, what are the arguments against him? You know what I mean? Like, what are the arguments against him? It's everything you can argue against him. You find 100 points for him. Wow, that's a brutal way to end an inning. Thanks for watching, Craig. I appreciate you watching, my friend. Yeah, I think there has to be. I think that there has to be, right? There has to be some stipulation with Shohei. In my opinion, if you're going to go about it the smart way, I think, Matt brought up a good point that there's going to be someone out there who just says, F it. Well, that's also what you get, Dave, when you let the kids play, right? Everyone wanted the kids to play and then are mad with the performance. It's like, well, yeah, they're all rookies right now. playing against Tyler Glasnow. I think there has to be some stipulation whether or not he's pitching and hitting or just pitching, in my opinion. Thoughts on Craig Breslow? I like the idea. I don't know if it's actually going to happen. It kind of got shot down pretty quickly by Cubs beat reporters, but I really like the idea. It shows that they aren't happy with their current pitching situation, which I think is good, right? I think it's good. So I would be happy if the Red Sox went with Craig Breslow, honestly. I'm in, Johnny. What will the lineup for the Red Sox like opening day 2024? Opening day 2024. Well, Devers will be at 2 or 3. I would say Tristan Casas would probably be at 4. Massa either at 2 or 5. Story at 6 or 5. Wong 8 or 9. I think Rafaela ends up in there somewhere. I don't know, man. It's so early for me. Like, trying to guess the Red Sox 2024 lineup is going to be impossible. Do I believe in them as being everyday second baseman? Not really, Daniel. I do believe in Reyes as a bench spot. I think him in the bench role is a good role for him to be in. I really like him there. I think Reyes will be on the team next year. Urias, I don't know. Urias is a tough one because he's a guy that doesn't have any options left. He's a non-tender candidate. He hasn't been really doing all that well with the Red Sox. I mean, he's been fine, but he hasn't had that turnaround that we were looking for when the Red Sox picked him up. So when you're looking at second base, is that somewhere they look to upgrade? Maybe, but at the same time too, right? If you're gonna go and trade for someone, right, your priority has to be pitching. So are you willing to give up enough when you have a lot of middle infielders coming up, right? You got a lot of them. There's the option to put Rafaela there. If you don't trade York, you've got Nick York very close. Myers getting close, right? So it'll be interesting. You've got under sort of under the radar guys. Like, do you keep Valdez as sort of a platoon option at second base? You've got like Matthew Lugo's kind of getting closer. I don't know. Chase Medroth, right? All right, Mike. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. Wonder if the Red Sox will trade for one of the Dodgers starting pitchers? I don't know. The Dodgers hold their starting pitchers pretty close to the belt. It feels like it's hard to get some of those guys away. And is there really anyone? The only one I'd be interested in, honestly, would be Walker Buehler, but he's had his fair share of injuries. Dustin May was really great when he was on the mound, but he's had his fair share of injuries, right? I don't know. I don't know if there's anyone on the Dodgers I would be like, hell yes, the Red Sox got him. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Yeah, Bobby Miller is a great one, but yeah, you're not getting Bobby Miller from the Dodgers. Getting Bobby Miller for the Dodgers would include Meyer or Anthony. 100,000%. And I don't know if the Red Sox would be willing to do that. Maybe they are, but they also would want probably want someone who's a bit more proven, in my opinion. But we'll see. What would be a realistic number of trades for players on the 26th man? I don't really know what would be a realistic number for an aggressive offseason. If we're talking aggressive offseason on the 26th man currently, Are you talking about like at this second or just overall throughout the year, the 26 man? Because then I would say aggressively, you're looking at three guys on the 26 man traded. Like I would see, like if we're talking full on aggression, right? You're looking at Alex Verdugo. In my opinion, even not aggressive, Alex Verdugo is a guy that's probably going to be traded. Valdez, Abreu, Duran, and Rafaela, in my opinion, are all guys that could be on the block. I think Devers is staying. I think Story's staying. I think Casas is staying. I think Wong's staying. And I think Yoshida's staying. So anyone not in those positions, I would say, is on the block. But in my opinion, if you're looking at this Red Sox player, like position-wise, the only two who are truly untouchable, in my opinion, is Devers and Casas. Everyone else, while their prices may vary, aren't entirely untouchable. He's a free agent after next year, Jeffrey. And no, I don't think they'll bring him back. Why is Turner playing first and Dahlbeck playing third? I think Rafi just needed a day off. Rafi hasn't missed a lot of games this year. He had that one little problem. Let me see how many games. Yeah, 149 games. Still be at 150 plus games this year. Pretty good. Rafi, for whatever it's worth, is a very durable player. Rafaela played third at all? No. I mean, I probably could, but why isn't? Because Turner's heel is so bad. I don't think he'd be able to move well enough to play third base today. I'm surprised they played him at all. I'm surprised they don't have Reyes over at third or something. Or Urias. Oh, is Urias injured? Urias is injured, right? I don't know. No, I don't. Xander did not have a better year than Devers. Offensively, he did not. Let me double check that, but I'm almost positive. Yeah, no. They were close, but Rafi has the better slug, OPS plus. Xander has a slightly better batting average and a slightly better on base percentage. Let me double check that, though. Yeah, they have about the same on base percentage, so. Would I have gotten Giolito at the deadline? No. Giolito would have been a good thought at the time, but everything after that has been brutal. So probably not. Yeah, I saw the 19 steals. I think it, honestly, Eamon, I think a lot of it has to do with the new rules, too. I think a lot of it has to do. I think you're seeing an uptick. I mean, Devers has an uptick in steals this year, right? It's a lot easier to swipe bags than it has been in the past. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well. Yeah, I've never really loved Josh Donaldson. I think he's an interesting dude, but never really been a true team player guy. Rafael has 20 games. Yeah, they're not going to put anyone else at third base. What's up, Wes? Devers will be at third base next year. Barring something crazy. But I don't think anything crazy, third base-wise, is coming. I'd love to see Rafaela take Glasnow deep, man. That's really all I care about now is Rafaela, Wilyer Abreu, and Edmanuel Valdez. But even then, it's just a little, just a little bit with Valdez. Excuse me. It's mainly just Rafael and Abreu. And I'm loving what I'm seeing from Abreu so far. Loving it. I think Abreu's a guy you can play every day next year. Yeah, Jackie Bradley Jr. is probably. I would venture to guess Jackie Bradley Jr. is probably not playing again in Major League Baseball. Which pitcher do you think we'll pick up? I don't know. I really don't. My number one target, and everyone should be number one target this offseason is Yamamoto. If you're a Red Sox fan, you should be all in on the Red Sox getting Yamamoto. Hard to see who cover him if he needs a day off. Oh, I mean, you got Reyes. Pablo Reyes can play third base. No, I haven't, Rema. Yeah, it's Yamamoto or bust in free agency, at least for me, right? If you want to be truly contending in 2024, if your plan is to be a true contender in 25, then Shohei Ohtani makes a ton of sense. But Jordan Montgomery, I would be interested in Montgomery. Yamamoto for me is a great one. Mitch Keller is a guy I love. I would be real interested in getting Mitch Keller here. But I don't know. The trade market to me is so interesting this offseason because there's just so many different targets. There's so many different targets they could go after. Please don't tell me Willie Abreu just did something right. Please no. What's up, Harrison? Yamamoto and Shohei, that would be insanity. Imagine if they got both those guys. Oh, my God. What's up, Pac-Man? I would say if they don't make the playoffs this year, they would be interested in selling off a starter. And I think it's because their offense was sort of their weak point this year. And if they could both settle it, they could afford to give up one starter and still have a really good rotation. Um, so yeah, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea for the if Seattle doesn't make the playoffs to try and make a trade for outfield help, second base help. I think they would be able to swing that for position player, which is where Verdugo comes in really interesting. Do we care about the luxury tax? Not this year. What's up, Clip? Not this year. We don't care about the luxury tax. York, yeah, York's another guy comes into play there. They could. I mean, technically, right? It's just money, Pac-Man. It's just money. But I think it depends on what the Shohei contract looks like. But if you can get one before getting the other, like in all honesty, there may be some inclination. Inclination? No, that might not be the wrong word. Incentive for the other one to come here, right? Because it's a tough transition. It's a tough transition to Major League Baseball where you don't speak the language, you've never been to this country, you've never done the schedule, you've never faced the pitchers, you've never played the position, right? Thanks, Clip. Good luck with school, my friend. You know what I mean? It's a tough transition, so it's got to make it a little bit easier, especially if you're Yamamoto at 25 years old, to have someone in the clubhouse that speaks your language, that has done this before. Bobby, what are you talking about? You mean in spring training? I don't think that has anything to do with right now. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see sort of where teams go. Are there any teams that are going to pull back a little bit? Are there any teams that are going to jump forward a little bit? I don't know. Probably. I mean, Nico Horner's the better player, right? But he'd be more expensive. And if you're looking to make a big trade pitching wise, then I would go Tommy Edman. Think the Red Sox overpay to get Ohtani? I don't know. I don't know if they're in the business of doing that. They've been scoring with, especially pitching wise, right? I mean, who were their last two big ones were Price and Sale. And Price, I'd say overall was fine, but really wasn't fantastic. You had to get rid of that contract, right? And then Sale obviously didn't really work out for him. So I think they're going to be real cautious about long money to big pitchers, which should be interesting. Thanks, Harrison. I appreciate you. We should get a controllable pitcher, in my opinion. A lefty because Sale is leaving soon. We need a Mitch Keller. Lefty, Mitch Keller. Yeah, Mitch Keller would be great. Luzardo, Braxton Garrett would be awesome. Tariq Skubal would be interesting. I don't know. It probably wouldn't take a lot to get him here, but that'd be interesting. Yeah, they're going to need to do one of the two, but I think between the two options, right, the young, controllable starting pitcher makes more sense to most people than a overpaying for a aging starter like a Snell or a Nola, which, I don't think the Red Sox will do. Would I keep Paxton? Unless he wants like a 1 year, $4 million deal, no. Don't care who it is. Yeah, one of them will be great. One of them will be great. Yeah, but he has a lot of injury history, which I think would prevent him from getting a ton. Yeah, Pedro, Lowe, Schilling, Beckett, Sale. Yeah, Evaldi you could throw in there. Eduardo Rodriguez you can kind of throw in there. Was Peavy a trade or a free agent signing? I don't know. But either way, right? Yeah, the Red Sox have done a good job of bringing in outside pitching. They haven't done a good job of developing their own pitching. I thought so. Is that a W pickup line? Depends. It depends on who it's given to, right? If they know baseball, maybe. I wouldn't use it everywhere, though. I could smell a worse to first season next year. It's gonna be harder than it's ever been to be first in the AL East next year. The Yankees aren't gonna sit dormant. The Red Sox aren't gonna sit dormant. The Blue Jays will probably be about the same. The Orioles aren't going anywhere, and Tampa, it doesn't matter apparently what happens to Tampa. They're still going to be a good team. It's a realistic possibility that next year the last place team in the AL East is like 86 wins. Genuinely, it's going to be tough, man. I don't know if the Red Sox are going to set their sights on. I don't know if they're going to set their sights on first place. They're going to set their sights into just flat out being competitive. That's Nate Eovaldi. What moves do the Yankees have to make, though? They're not going to spend more in their farm. They might spend more, though. The Yankees get frustrated really fast. You're right with their farm system not having a ton of options unless you want to get rid of like a Jason Dominguez or a Austin Wells, which are guys you kind of need, right? You kind of need those guys. So, yeah, probably going to have to go through spending. And if it's a scoring Yankees front office, Steinbrenner might do something crazy. Do I think Boone is gone? No, I don't think Boone's leaving. I don't think Boone's that bad of a manager. I think what Cashman did kind of stunk the Yankees up this year. The only reason people think the Yankees are more interested is because Cashman went to one game, and it just happened to be the no-hitter. Every other team in baseball has been scouting Yamamoto all season. I don't think the Yankees are any more interested than everyone else. I thought Harold Ramirez just hit a grand slam. I thought he just hit a grand slam. Yeah, I mean, but they're the Yankees, right? I don't know. I could see him getting mad and throwing stupid money at someone stupid. The Giancarlo Stanton contract's kind of sinking them. I honestly think Rizzo's sinking them a little bit too. They're just aging, man. Rodon, yeah. Can Rodon stay healthy next year? I don't know. Think Schreiber might be on the block? I don't think he's untouchable at all. I think the right team asked for him. Yeah, he could be on the block. I don't think they're going to actively shop him. Yeah, but that's every offseason, Pac-Man. I mean, they said that about Correa. They said that about Correa, and then the year before that, they said it about oh my God, what's his face? It wasn't Story. It was another one of the bigger free agents. Who's going into the 2022 season? It was like a bigger name. Someone help me out. But either way, they're mentioned everywhere. Yes, we all know they need pitching. Yeah, Seiya Suzuki, that's it. That was the guy who everyone was like, oh, he's a Yankee. He's a Yankee. Baez, another guy. Yeah, I mean, anyone's getting mentioned with the Yankees. It's just how it goes when you spend that much over the course of your years, right? Especially for Yankee fans, like Yankee fan blogs and podcasts and media outlets are always going to say they're in on the biggest one. Yeah, CW. I think they started playing the younger kids more, which is really what you get when you start playing the younger kids more. And I think a lot of people also, is that new bling for Bayo? Looks good. The Mets, I think the Mets I don't think they'll have a crazy offseason. I actually think they'll have a pretty low-key offseason. I mean, we heard about it from Scherzer, right? He flat out said that the Mets aren't going to spend. Yeah, I think Massa will end up being the better big leaguer than Seiya, but we'll see. I think he'll end up being the better one. Yeah, they also got a little bit healthier, CW. It wasn't just the young kids coming up. They got a couple guys back into the rotation. They got Judge back. It makes sense. I think we all kind of knew the Yankees weren't going to finish under 500. Oh, that's brutal. Paul Blackburn? I don't love Paul Blackburn. I don't really like Paul Blackburn, to be honest with you. I don't think... I don't think he'll be very good outside of Oakland. Miggy's an awesome player, man. It'll be sad to see that generation. He was kind of the last of that generation, really. Miggy, yeah. I mean, Miggy is way past his prime for sure. But I'm just saying, like, that's just sort of the kind of last big name from my childhood. Right? It was like the David Ortizes, the Manny Ramirezes, the Pujoses, the Cabreras. I'm just trying to think of other bigger names. Grady Sizemore. Straight depression on my face? Nah, I'm not fully depressed. But it is weird, right? It's like a whole new generation now. Yeah, they would have to extend him unless they truly think they're going to go and get him. Am I a fan of the new wild card setup? Yeah. Ryan Yarbrough. Ryan Yarbrough was a decent pitcher at one point, so. I like the wild card setup. I like the idea of three teams making it. I think it makes it more exciting. It's what we're seeing this year, right? And if the Red Sox were involved, it'd be even more exciting, right? But yeah, I don't mind it. I don't love the 3-game wild card series though. I get why they have it, but I just don't love it. I think just too much can happen in 3 games. That's why one game to me was always like the go big, go home game. It was one game for all the marbles. It seems like for everything I'm hearing and seeing Jack Mac or J Mac that they are very in on Shohei. Luis Robert would be insane. Luis Robert would be absolutely insane. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would be all in on a Luis Robert. His contract won't be $500 million, CW. Shohei won't get $500 million. I'd be shocked if he did. I would say it's close to $400 million, but I don't think it's over. Yeah, the cost to get Robert would be crazy, but it would be worth it, especially if you get Cease and Robert. I mean, you'd have to drain your farm probably, but those guys, and it makes sense. Luis Robert is untouchable. It makes sense he's untouchable, but sometimes untouchable players can be bought a little bit, especially if you want to give them the world, right? If you want to overpay, that's the way you do it, right? You just got to overpay for them. Yeah, I don't see a team even if you're the Mets giving Shohei Ohtani a $500 million deal. Yeah, I mean Justin Verlander came back. He did well after second Tommy John. DeGrom obviously pitched well after his second Tommy John. Um, I'm trying to think of other people who had 2 Tommy John surgeries and pitched well. We'll see. We'll see what McClanahan looks like. It's possible. Nah, you take Robert over Witt, in my opinion. For this Red Sox team, yeah. Appreciate it, Tyrone. Thank you. Um, yeah, John Lackey. There have been a ton of different people who've done it twice, and I don't think it'll affect them too much. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I agree. Versatility. He was definitely. I think if he didn't have Tommy John this year, I think he would have. I think 500 million makes sense. But because of that, I think he'll be around. I think he'll be just under 400 million. I think it'll be like 390. I don't know. Well, we'll see. It's gonna be really interesting. The Shohei sweepstakes, the Yamamoto sweepstakes. Who's on the block for trades is going to be really interesting too. We're not getting rid of. Why would no? We shouldn't get rid of Story. That would be stupid. No, it'd probably just cost both of them. It'd probably just cost both Meyer and Anthony. I don't think it'd be multiple, but yeah. I'm scared if we pay Otani, we'll be out of money. That's the other thing too, right? Is you need multiple pieces, and if you get Shohei, does that count you out for everyone else? Oh, both Witt and Robert? Yeah, it'd be impossible. Who would I give up for Burns and Woodruff? Burns or Woodruff. Doogie, Duran, Rafaela if we're talking about Burns. It's been 2 years, J-Mac. Yeah, that's all you have to do. Sell Liverpool, then you got $5 billion to play with. Yeah, I don't know. Would you rather give Shohei a shorter term, higher AAV, or longer term, lower AAV? It would depend on the structure of the contract. Like I said, I think the only way I'm truly comfortable with the Red Sox getting Ohtani is if they give him like $40 million a year and say, look, if you're just gonna be a hitter for 2024, we're gonna give you $30 million, and then if you're a pitcher and a hitter, we're gonna give you $40 million a year. And then if you at some point decide, or we decide, that you can no longer pitch and hit, and you choose one way or the other, you go back down to $30 million, which I think is beneficial. Not gonna happen, Christian, unfortunately. Because the Bruins weren't for sale. Pretty simple. I think he could be slightly above average hitter. I don't think Rafael ever be like a Silver Slugger winner or anything, but yeah, exactly, Robbie. Exactly, right? And I think that's the way you structure it. It has to be, in my opinion. It just doesn't, it wouldn't make sense to me. It wouldn't make sense to me paying him to pitch and hit if he's not going to pitch and hit. Base salary and then incentives. Well, that's essentially what it would be, right? You would pay him as a hitter and then give him incentivized options as a pitcher. How did Costas hurt his shoulder? I think it just happened. I don't think it was any one thing. Never said that before. I don't think Henry's going bankrupt now. Yeah, I mean, it's a unique player, so there's going to be a unique contract, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be a contract we've seen before. I think it's going to be an interesting one. Do you think Ref Snyder stays on next year? I know he got the extension, but he might block some young outfielders from being on the 26 man. He's a lot of value. He's very good at what he does. Very, very good at what he does, right? So I think he does end up staying on, even if it is as the fifth outfielder, which is what he kind of is right now. So I think he'll be on for 25. Yeah, because he's also not worth a ton. So the only way you would get rid of him is if you threw him into a package, but I don't think anyone's gonna package him. I would love to do that, Wes, but I can't get a media pass. Do I think the Sox will keep Rafaela? I don't know. I don't know. Woodruff, Yamamoto, Luzardo. I mean, that'd be a fantastic rotation, yeah. I don't know if it's possible. Who will be the Red Sox second baseman in 2024? I have no idea. I have no clue. Yeah, it'll probably be one of the most interesting off seasons we've seen in the last 5-10 years, to be honest with you, because we're having that whole GM search. We're going to be talking about possible extensions for young guys, possible, trades and free agent signings. There's a lot. Yeah, the last thing I've heard about the GM search is Sam Fold. I think that's sort of the hot name right now, but it's going to be changing every other week. I just didn't want to keep making videos about it. It was like we were making 4 videos a week, you know? Woodruff isn't a free agent, though. You'd have to trade for Woodruff. He's got 1 more year of control. Ronaldo like 10 years ago. I wish I got into soccer. I can't get into it. Be honest with you. Plenty of time for the cold stove talk. Yeah, we got a lot of it. 2025 rotation. You threw that one in there, did you? Yeah, I always say that too, CW, and people are like, don't you like dedicate your entire life to baseball? Yeah, I guess that's true. All right, that's fair. Weekly offseason hot seat streams. We'll probably do every other week. Think they will re-sign Bayo? Bayo's under team control until 2029, so he'll be here next year. He'll be an integral part of whatever they do next year. It's good enough. Yeah, we're not going to stop doing live streams. This is just our last live watch party, which is kind of weird to say, Chad. It feels like I don't know. This season's gone by so fast, and I think it's just because it's been so up and down. It's felt like such a short season. Yeah, I'd agree with that, CW. I'd also say that exact argument's what people use in soccer too, so, and golf, right? All of those have sort of like the, if you don't understand it, you're not going to enjoy it type feels. There were some ups. There were ups this year. There were plenty of ups this year. Yeah, I agree, Genetic. Also, part of it too is this channel in particular saw a lot of growth this year, so it felt like I'm like, oh man, don't end, please. But it really, I mean, it really has felt like this season's gone by so fast. Why can't I get a media pass? I'm not big enough or important enough to get a media pass. My back has been killing me. When do I think Kyle Teal get called up? It depends on how he comes out of the gate 2024, to be honest with you. I would guess if he comes out of the gate hitting the way he did, like mid 2024, to be honest with you. Any info on Wilkeman Gonzalez? I have a video on my channel talking about Wilkeman if you want to check it out. Meyer probably won't be called up next year. Use a heat pack. Heat doesn't really work, man. It's like my spine. There's like one part of my spine. Appreciate it, CW. Thanks. Thanks, Wes. I appreciate you. When's Mata being called up? He kind of has to be called up. He has to be put on the 40-man, or he could be Rule 5'd, I believe. There's a reason he needs to be put on the 40-man, so it's either this year or none. And I don't know. I don't know if they take the chance, to be honest with you. They might trade him. Will I upload tomorrow? Yeah, we're going to be talking about Alex Cora tomorrow. It is Rule 5? Yeah. No, they'll keep McGuire. They'll probably keep McGuire. I think he's still in arbitration, so you can option him. Option McGuire. I think it'll be fine. I don't think the Red Sox had a jersey, no. They should bring back the Sox hat. That's my favorite hat. Yeah, we do have a ton of Rule 5 eligible guys. Let me see exactly. Sox Prospects has them, I think. There's a way to look at it. Let me see. Team rosters, 2024 projected rosters, scouting log. So they usually have it. Let me find Mata. Maybe there's a designation. Mata's probably all the way down here. Yeah, there he is. No, actually, they don't have a designation. I could have sworn they did. I could have sworn they had one. Schedule, site maps, ranking history, future roster projections, schedule, standings. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, we have so many. Oh no, 2024. Here we go. We've got Alex Spinellis. I'm going to give you the sort of Blaze Jordan's Rule 5 eligible. Interesting. Oh no, wait, that's next year. This year, oh my God. I mean, there's 100 different names. The interesting ones are Matthew Lugo, Edinson Paulino, Luis Paredes, AJ Politi, Zach Bryan. That's an interesting name. Juan Chacon, who I think at one point was the guy everyone was looking out for. Shane Drohan's eligible. Ryan Fitzgerald, which they probably won't do anything with. Grant Gramble, probably not. Wilkeman Gonzalez is. Steven Scott. Nick Sogard is an interesting one. There's literally hundreds. Here, let me show you guys. There's quite literally like 100 different people. Look at this. So this first column's 2025, or this going into 2024. Look at all these players, man. Oh my God, there are so many. That's crazy. Yeah, there are probably like 4 or 5 really interesting names. I think a lot of them are pitchers, right? Luis Paredes being on there. Shane Drohan being on there. Wilkeman Gonzalez being on there. Politi being on there. I would guess there's going to be some minor trades up and down here with guys that are interestingly valuable, but not crazy valuable, right? Gilberto Jimenez is another guy on there. There's a lot. A lot. Martin Maldonado, I don't think there's no need for that. There's no need for that. Yeah, he really could. Versatility. I think there might be. No, I guess there isn't. That is kind of crazy, actually. Yeah, I would guess Paredes, Drohan, and Wilkeman get added. So that's 3 spots you need to figure out, right? It's going to be interesting. They're going to have to make room on this 40-man. Yeah, the new CBO, the new GM, whatever, has a lot of really great sort of things going for him with this roster. He's also got a lot of challenges. He's going to have to make a lot of different decisions here. A lot of different decisions. And we'll sort of see how it goes. Yeah, they're going to have to set it before December. So they've got not a lot of time. No, I think Wilkeman Gonzalez, in my opinion, and Paredes are above Drohan. But I think both of them are guys that will be interesting to see if they keep on. I think they do, Daniel. I think they do. I don't think they're going into this blind. It would shock me if they haven't come up with some sort of game plan. Yeah, consolidation is going to be a big key to this, to getting this team to a contention, right? Stop with the moving pieces and sort of get, some locked in. 'Cause, I mean, realistically, you really only 3 pieces that are going to be rotating or that were rotating this year or in next year too, I think. I don't think Song's eligible again. Really, it's center field, left field, and second base. Everywhere else is sort of solidified, and then obviously, no, AC confirmed today he's gonna be back in 24. I agree, Fester. They do need a Big Papi statue. Prison socks, ridiculous. Yeah, Gonzalez looks like a pretty fun candidate. He might be a back end guy, which is why, in my opinion, those guys like Cutter, man, Tyler Glasnow is shredding the Red Sox. Cutter, Houck, even Whitlock, in my opinion, are interesting candidates for this. It has been 1 hour and we're already in the 6th inning. It's gonna be a 2-hour long stream. They're going to be interesting trade candidates because I don't think you keep all of them. Yeah, there's another Rule 5, right? Like there's that Rule 5 and then there's Rule 5 with people on the 40. I don't know how that really works, to be honest with you. Well, yeah, there's so many decisions. So many. It's hard to wrap my head around exactly what the Red Sox GM is going to need to do. I mean, first things first, you got to come up with a game plan. Second thing you got to do is you got to consolidate the roster. You got to get new people in here. It's going to be, hopefully, they better get someone before the end of November, dude. Like, they better, in all honesty, they better have someone before the end of the World Series. That's where I would want them for. That's in my opinion, that's where I think you're looking to really, because it's not just about being like having someone in charge for the offseason. It's about having a game plan, right? Having a game plan for the offseason. And I don't know. But the problem with that is, right, if you're going after a Sam Fold or someone on the Diamondbacks or someone on the Dodgers or even Kim Ng, right? I don't know. Yeah, there's a pretty good chance they're going to be wrong, yeah. Like, there's just so many. There's so many different options here. It's crazy. It's crazy. One of the winter meeting days. It depends on what the day is. What's up, Gritty? It depends on what the day is, because I think I talked about this before. But yeah, we probably will. I'm not sure she'd CW, to be honest with you. Second weekend in December. Yeah, we could do that. We did it last year. We went live for a winter weekend or winter meetings. We went live during that. Nothing happened, but we were live. No, they would have already hired BOH. BOH took another position in the company, and it sounds like it was a bit of a demotion. So it doesn't sound like BOH is taking over now. Do you mean Nashville? If it ever comes up close to New England, I'm going to go to one. I would love to go to one. But yeah, we'll probably go live for one of those days. Wasn't Kurt Schilling a trade? Man, Brandon Lowe is now 3 for 3. Brandon Lowe? I don't know. Yeah, Schilling was a trade. Yeah, I think they need to be a great mix. You need to find someone kind of centered, right? You went to both ends of the spectrum. You didn't like either one if you're the ownership. You got to find somewhere in the middle to be happy with for a while, right? Because I think that's the big thing with the GM right now, and sort of the biggest drawback to coming over to the Red Sox is You don't have that job security. You have it somewhere else. Yeah, CW. We're not gonna talk about that. To be honest with you. Brandon Gomes would be my pick. I love Brandon Gomes. Josh Bryans would be another great one. But those are guys you can't get until the World Series is over, which would haunt me. It would haunt me. Yeah, Middlebrook thinks that. A lot of people think Sam Fold is the front runner right now. Where is Blake Swihart? He's not playing baseball. I have no idea where he is. It kind of sucks that like everyone's having a bad end of the season. Like this is probably Bayo's last start. What's DiNardo doing? Yeah, but he traded for him. Dan, that was to get him to accept the trade. Probably Brines and Romero. Or Burns. I always want to say Brines. It's Burns and Romero. Didn't really work out for us, though, Prodigy. Not sure you want Fold. That ball was blasted. It's going to suck. It's going to suck when people crap all over my expectations of 2024. And my only expectations in 2005, we won a World Series. 2015, we won a World Series. No, we didn't. We never had a Blake Swihart, Ryan Hanigan, and Christian Vasquez trio that won a World Series. (2018) was Sandy Leon and Christian Vasquez. Cody Ross catch any games that year? Or David Ross? I always say Cody Ross. David Ross catch any games that year? I don't think he did. I'm like fairly confident Swihart. If he did catch in 2018, it was like 2 games, dude. Oh, he catched in 82 games in 2018? I don't remember that at all. Guess I was wrong. That's really impressive. Did not know that. Let me see how many games he caught, though. Fielding. Oh, he only caught. Oh, wait. He caught 28. He caught 28 games in 2018. Played the outfield in 21 games. DH 14 games. Played third base and second base. He played all over the place. Yeah, I told you, Dan. He did go to his house because Curt Schilling had a no trade clause. That's why. Swihart was the best prospect that never panned out. Yeah, everyone likes to use that as the why we shouldn't give a damn about prospects. I hate that. It's like, yes, that one guy did not work out, but Mookie, Xander, Devers, Benintendi, Jackie Bradley Jr., John Lester, right? All these guys, Pedroia, they all worked out. Like, that's one of my least favorite arguments. But yes, there are going to be big-time prospects that don't work out. But And we go through the statistics, right? We go through the statistics talking about only about 10% of all minor league players make Major League Baseball. It's different when you're talking about the top 10 major prospects on a list. You know what I mean? Surprised Farrell never got another coaching opportunity. There were clearly things going on. No, Daniel, you can't keep these guys on inning limits. You know, at some point you got to let them loose. You got to let them get used to the length of a major league season. So, were they taking Turner out? No, I'm not saying you versatility. I'm just talking in general. Yeah, they did take Turner out. Interesting. He's hugging everybody. This is bringing back really bad memories. Remember, we watched that together, chat. We watched that together with Xander, JD. Interesting. Didn't think we'd be talking about things get weird when things get weird when there's nothing to talk about in the game. Do I think they'll fire Dave Bush and Pete Fatsey? I don't know if it'll be both. I think it'll be. Thanks, Dennis. Thank you. I try to be year round. I think that was kind of missing. You know, obviously there were people who did it. Carabas, Peral, like all those guys did year round coverage, but there really isn't a lot of it in Boston once the season ends. We need a pitcher with a good forkball. What? I remember Mookie's last game for the Red Sox, him sliding into home plate to walk it off. Oh, yeah, that's right. Man, I forgot about that. Josh Rutledge? I don't know. He's probably some either reliever or utility player. Not sure. Yeah, but back to the Dave Bush and Pete Fatsey thing. I think Fatsey's a little bit harder for me to say, yeah, he needs to go, right? Because the Red Sox are a top 10 offense in Major League Baseball this year. They've got much better OPS-wise. Believe it or not, they got much better with runners in scoring position. I know that's crazy to say because they've had droughts this year. I'll talk about those in a second, CW, because I also hate them. I'll talk about that in a second. I'm about to go on a tangent with that, but let me finish the Pete Fatsey thing. I think it's hard to justify Pete Fatsey as much as it is with Dave Bush. I think Dave Bush did some decent things this year, but I think overall, right, when you're looking at especially the young kids on this team, right, you got to give them credit for Winkowski. I'm sure there's some credit to be given for Chris Martin, maybe a little bit, right? But at the same time, too, you had Tanner Houck, Garrett Whitlock, and Brian Bayo. And I think all three of them didn't really make, and Cutter in that regard too, didn't really make major steps forward like we were wanting them to, right? I think Bayo, I think Bayo has had a good year. Don't get me wrong, but I think there were things within Bayo's game that you're seeing where some of it's pitch, like that home run right there to, I think it was Paredes. I don't remember who hit that. That was a fastball center cut up the middle, and some of that's missing his spots. It is, but they called for a high fastball this year. High fastballs off Brian Bayo are getting hit at like a 400 clip, right? And yet they continue to call him. And so for me, it's just there are things regarding the head of coaching for pitching that could be improved, and I don't know if that's something Bush can do. I don't have a ton of faith in Bush. CW, let me get into this a little bit. The Red Sox channel, yeah. So I guess what happens, and it's with it's with all major sports is there are essentially like factories almost in other countries, India, China, Brazil, that their whole job is to AI generate videos and put them out on the internet about sports. Yeah, they're essentially bot channels, right? And the goal here is they almost always get banned, almost every single time. And the goal is to try and sneak one in. And once you get one snuck in, you can get into the monetization stuff. What's up, Jay? And it is the most frustrating thing in the world to me when these things pop up, because 99% of the time they're just essentially inputting Red Sox content that they're seeing and spouting out an AI generated thing about it. And 95% of the time it's my content, right? Because on YouTube, right, it's essentially just straight Red Sox related stuff. It's me, and then it's me, and then Carabas, right? But his channel has a lot of Red Sox stuff, but that's long form content. I don't even know anyone else that does strictly Red Sox content that's over 1,000 subscribers, but they're just taking that and they're spitting out these so it's essentially ripping off my channel, right? And that's, to me, I always see them and I'm always like, oh, look, someone new started making Red Sox videos, and I was like, oh, fantastic, right? Like, let's start working together. Let's start building up communities. Let's start doing things together. And I click on it, and it's like, today in Red Sox news, the opener of today's game was Brennan Bernardino, and Diener was officially charged with 2 runs. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. I hate it. Yeah, some of them are literally like, it's like, and the titles make me so mad too, because it's like, why are people clicking on this? Because it's like, yeah, it's like the bot channels. Yeah, it's what I'm ranting about right now, because it's like announcement, news, Red Sox related news injury report. It's like, what? And it's like a picture of like Chris Martin or something, and you're like, what is going on? You click on it, and it's like Red Sox announced that there is possibility of injury report for Jarren Duran as he slid into third base, and I'm like, what is going on? It drives me insane. That'll be awesome, Pac-Man. Yeah, I will probably do 1 or 2 streams in October, and then November we'll start doing that every once in a while. Wait, Foolish Bailey's a legitimate account. That's not... Foolish Bailey's a legitimate account. What's up, Peter? Yeah, it's the worst. Adding advertisements to uniform, I don't think baseball allowed too many more. I would be shocked if they did. It would make no sense to add anymore. Yeah, exactly. Red Sox C. Sale was once injured. Yeah. It's so funny. But they make me so unbelievably mad. Yeah, I don't think the Red Sox add any more advertisements. I think they'll stay with this one for a while. Yeah, right. It's for every single sport. It's all over. I'm surprised YouTube hasn't been able to, like, they really don't do a great job with bots, to be honest with you. They really don't. It's kind of brutal sometimes, which I'm shocked, because YouTube's been around for so long. Baseball isn't dead. Yeah, baseball isn't dead. Channel's great. Baseball doesn't exist is my favorite YouTube channel of all time. I think he has some. What's his name? Joe. He is some of the best baseball content I've ever seen. If you haven't taken a look at it, Baseball Doesn't Exist is incredible. Appreciate it, Dax Fester. Baseball Bits is another good one, yeah. Oh yeah, those are good, Dennis. I always get sucked into those. Yeah, how baseball doesn't exist comes up with their videos is incredible. Like I simply don't get how he does what he does, and it's some of the best content I've ever seen. I love it. Every time a new one comes out, I watch it. Yeah, Fuzzy's a boy too. That's who I kind of like. I didn't model my channel off of him, but a lot of like the game recaps, like the way he did it in the concise manner, was pretty much how I try to get to too. He's kind of the model for when it comes to like series recaps and stuff. On Siege right now, trying to hop on. I haven't played Rainbow Six in a minute. No, I didn't. Did Fuzzy really argue with Steven? I gotta see if I can find that. Yeah, Robbie Hyde's another great one. Robbie's another guy who I like. When I started doing live streams, I was watching a lot of his live streams to try and figure out, how he went about interacting with people. Proven 4-5 slot hitter. I don't think they need him as much. Um, I do think the ace pitcher. Yeah, number 3 is a number 2 pitcher. Dig DeBito. I've never even heard of him. You're back, QB. What's going on? We'll stick with just Red Sox for right now, Christian. I'm putting too much time and effort into this channel to break it off yet. If I ever get the opportunity to go full time with this, I would try to expand. I think a little bit, yeah. But it's tough, right? Because it's a much more saturated market. Just straight Major League Baseball content. Then it's also obviously a bigger market, right? Than just Red Sox content, but it's definitely harder to break into. Which is why, if I'm going to do anything else but Red Sox content at this point, I need to have a bigger fan base. You know what I mean? Or a base start, right? How many channels would I make if I was full time? I think I would like to get this one up to as big as humanly possible. I think before I would even think about branching off to a second one. If I had to choose, if I was like a full time, thank you so much, Christian. I appreciate that. Thank you, Salty. Yeah, subs have kind of stalled out a little bit. Should reach out to Stephen A. Smith. No, I don't have any qualms with Stephen A. He's a hot takes. He's a gimme clicks creator, and that's just what he is. I would take Burns and Yamamoto over Nola Snell with Yamamoto. I would take Burns, not just because his name is Corbin, although that's a serious plus. What is your playoff and World Series prediction? I think it'll be Braves. And then give me the AL is going to be a lot more interesting than the NL. The Twins could go on a sneaky run, low key. They've been pretty hot lately. I just don't think they'll make the World Series, but they'll be an interesting team to watch during the playoffs. I want to say Orioles, but I just don't think. I don't know if me and I Talk Studios see eye to eye on some issues. I don't think we'll be there. I don't think we'll ever get a collab. Appreciate it, George. Thanks. Yeah, it's true, Frank. I saw it too. Burns does have one more year. Yeah, you'd have to trade for him. Maybe it's because you're a Red Sox fan. It probably has a lot to do with it. I'm good on Clayton Kershaw. Talking Sox. Yeah, that would get demonetized so bad. If you get Yamamoto, where are you putting them? One or two? Predicting who's going to come out of the AL is hard. I mean, the Braves are just such a powerhouse, man. It's hard for me to say they're not going to be in the World Series. I mean, the Astros are almost such a sure bet. I feel stupid picking them. The Rays, I don't think go on that deep of a run. The Mariners, I don't think go on that. Although the Mariners could catch fire a little bit. I don't think the Blue Jays make it too far. Texas, is Texas in or is Seattle out? One of the two's out, right? They're so close, I don't even remember. Yeah, that's my problem with the Orioles. I just don't know if their starting pitching will be able to bring them into the World Series. Yeah, so right now the Rangers are back at the top of the division. I think my prediction here is going to be Rangers, Braves, World Series. Angels, Braves, World Series. Yep. Angels. I'm an idiot. Rangers. That's what I meant. Rangers. Rangers, Braves, World Series. And who wins? I think Atlanta wins. Who am I giving up for Burns? I'm going to make a video going into full detail. I honestly haven't looked into it a whole lot. I would give up Duran. I would give up Verdugo. I would give up Rafaela. I would give up one of those three, and then I would give up a pitching prospect. I would give up a lot for Burns. I think Burns on a down year. His value's a little bit lower. He's a great pitcher. Baltimore Braves. Who do I think is going to be in the NLCS? The Brewers could make a sneaky run, dude. I think it'll realistically be. The Dodgers are so good, man. The Dodgers kind of deserve it. For 1 year, no, you please stop trying to trade Rafaela. Well, here's the thing, Salty, right? Is you've got a logjam in the outfield. Teams, like we've seen this past offseason, are looking for young, controllable, major league talent, right? They're not so much looking for those super young prospects anymore unless it's a blue chip prospect. So unless you're willing to give up Meyer or Anthony, it comes down to Duran, Rafaela, Abreu, or Verdugo. And of those three, who's the most valuable? Rafaela, right? So I wouldn't get too attached to Rafaela. It's not me not liking Rafaela. It's me realizing that there's a big logjam and the Red Sox need to make some big moves. That's just how it goes. Rays are going crazy? Yeah, they are. I don't even know what inning it is. It might be bottom 8. I don't know. Yeah, the Dodgers do have pitching problems, but they just keep winning. It's hard to say that. Like, nah, they're gonna, you know what I mean? Is anyone in the NL gonna hit, or AL gonna hit 100 wins? I guess the Orioles are. Probably against us. Diamondbacks I don't think have the offense to go deep in the postseason. Trade Duran and Verdugo? Yeah, you could. But that's, again, it's still not going to be as valuable. No, I'm saying one or two of Pac-Man. I'm not saying all three. Yeah, exactly. Versatility. You can't trade for great pitching without giving up great prospects. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Mike. That's all right, man. Go get yourself healthy. Sorry to hear that. King Higgins re-upping his membership. Thank you so much, King. I don't think you're here. I think it automatically did it, but I appreciate you anyways. So, yeah, I think it's just out of all of the top prospects, it feels to me like Rafaela might be the one who would be most movable. Do I think Waka has a reunion with Boston? I don't think so. They need to get younger. Here's what I said, right? I think they need to get younger. I think they need to get more talented. And I think they need to do... No, Rafael is not going to be the next Dustin Pedroia. They don't need him at second base. Versatility's been a member for 7 months. Thank you so much, Versatility. Throwing Romero. I think Romero's a very likely trade candidate, in my opinion. I hate saying that because his uncle is a subscriber of the channel and is always talking about. He hates it when I bring up his name, but it just makes sense, right? I do, Frank. Yeah, at least for the first year, people want to come see it. Oh, my game just quit out. People want to come see it. What are the odds the Red Sox go after Soto? If he's available, I don't know. If he's available, I'm not sure. I would say it depends. If they go after Soto, then I'm trading Rafael and Doogie. Yeah. A little bit. You are selling low on him, but it wouldn't be. I'm not saying have him traded as the main piece, right? If that's gonna sweeten a deal, then you're in, right? Yeah, we did Fester. It was tough, man. That's a great baseball player, one of the best to ever do it. Dennis has been a member for 4 months. Thank you so much, Dennis. I appreciate you being here, my friends. I'm sure he does, Prodigy. He definitely could have. Yeah, I hope so too, Mike. That would make going to a football game pretty tough. Yeah, it could be versatility, but I think both of them could be on the block. I think anyone not named Kyle Teal has the possibility of being traded. Now, whether or not those possibility, no, I don't, Christian. I just think he's sick of not winning, to be honest with you. Because if he really wanted to sell the team, he wouldn't have fired Hein Bloom. There wouldn't be any sort of moving. He would have made it as liquid as possible. Yeah, I'm sure he said that. He probably would have helped, right? Yeah, York and Rafael, in my opinion, are on the block. I think Verdugo's definitely on the block. I would guess York and Rafael are up there too. Um, Roman Anthony and Marcel Meyer, to me, I'm pretty confident they're not getting traded, um, but I think they do have a price. They're not untouchable. Is Teal the number one prospect? No, I don't think Teal is the number one prospect. I still think it's Anthony, and I put both Meyer and Anthony above him. But he's the most unique, right? He's a catcher with a fantastic framing ability. Fantastic framing ability. He's got a rocket arm. He's a great contact hitter with a lot of power. You don't find that in catching prospects. So it's so rare that he just probably shouldn't. Yeah, I love Abreu. I think Abreu is going to be a big piece. I think he's going to replace Verdugo in right field. Yeah, Kyle Teal is a unicorn when it comes to prospects. If they trade him, that'd be so stupid. Soto is played out already, Fester. What, dude? Have you been watching a single second of Soto baseball? In what world is Soto played out? He's 24 years old. He's literally a year younger than me, and you're saying he's played out? Come on, man. He leads the entire league in on-base percentage this year. The entire Major League Baseball. He also has 33 home runs and 100-plus RBIs. Soto doesn't... You make him... Like, that... Those... Like, the type of guys like Soto and Ohtani, like, yeah, I mean... I get it. I understand that there are concerns, but those are the type of guys... Those are the type of guys that you make fit. Right? There are certain guys that, yeah, okay, he doesn't fit in, so it makes sense. He's a good talent, but he doesn't fit with the club. Guys like Soto, Ohtani, Tatis, Acuna, those are the guys that you make room for. Right? That's just how it works, right? Maybe it doesn't make the most sense with the current team. Fine. You figure out a way to make it make sense. Right? Like when you're talking about a top 10, top 5 hitter in Major League Baseball, I don't really care if we're left-handed heavy because of it. I don't really care if he's not going to give you the best defense. You got to figure out a way to fit him in the outfield. I don't care if you're going to have to give him a big contract, right? Like those are things that shouldn't concern me. You make it work. Tatis, that would be interesting. Yeah, Tatis being here would be really interesting. I don't think it'll happen, but... Wilyer Abreu? I love Wilyer. I want Wilyer on this team next year. No, I don't think Tatis is available. I'm throwing out names like in the class that Soto's in, right? Soto's in that class with Ohtani, with Mookie, with Acuna, with Tatis, with, with all these guys. Would Soto be like having Manny? Yeah, I mean, think about the days where it was David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez back-to-back, right? Now imagine you're getting a top 5 hitter and a top 10 hitter in Rafael Devers and Juan Soto. I think Devers will be better defensively next year, too. I was saying that, Gritty. Yeah, Soto's just not Manny personality. The Braves and Gallen? Zach Gallen plays for the Diamondbacks. Is that who you're talking about? Yes. Yes. Wait, what are you talking about, Wes? I don't know. It's a weird question. I have no idea. Diamondbacks and Gallen, when is he a free agent? I don't think they trade him. No. Why did I think Zach Gallen's under arbitration for a while? Maybe I'm just going crazy. If they do make him available, all in. All in. That's a guy who's definitely in the top of a rotation. What is going on? It's taking me forever to do this. Yeah, Zach Gallen is a free agent in 2026, so I think he's got time. Would have been a combo before we got Massa. I agree. And is it the perfect fit? No, but you just make it work. That's how I would work for it. Oh, I honestly have no idea, Wes. Love to have a Rosarena. I'm good. I hate Randy Rosarena. I don't know why. I just hate him. Yeah, it was Ken Rosenthal. It was Rosenthal. What's the other guy's name? Matt Vasgersian? No, that's not who I'm thinking of. Maybe I am thinking of Ken Rosenthal. Jeff Passan also mentioned it. It's pretty public knowledge the Padres want to drop their payroll next year. I think the only reason I don't like Randy Arozarena is because that 2021 ALDS where he was eating popcorn in the dugout. I don't know why that made me so mad. I honestly have no problem with Massa in left field, to be honest with you. Unless you're playing in like a really wide open left field, I have no idea. I have no problem with Massa in the outfield. There are some of you guys who are like, he needs to DH. I don't think he needs to DH. I think you can leave the DH position. You can use him at DH, right? Especially because you have so many outfielders, right? Usable outfielders right now. But I don't think you need a DH or anything. So I don't think it matters. I still play him out in the outfield. It means nothing to me, especially in left field. If he was a right fielder or a center fielder, yeah. There were plays where he probably should have made them and just didn't, and I think that's sort of the bigger thing here, CW. But yeah, but the fatigue problem next year, I think will be a lot different than this year. This year he played in the World Baseball Classic, so that's 20 legit games before even coming to spring training. Finished out spring training, played 162 games for the first game. He literally played a season and a half when he's more than he's used to, right? He played 140 games, including playoffs in Japan, and they were more spread out. And he played 180 games essentially this year, right? So it's like, yeah, and the NPB, he didn't really get a break either. He essentially played like 300 straight days of baseball. So I think the fatigue problem will be a much less of an issue next year. He'll have a full spring training. He'll have a full restful off season. I think it'll be fine next year. Like, I think that's a bit overblown because it's accurate to what he's going through right now. I'm not saying it's overblown like he's not fatigued. I'm saying it's overblown like it's going to be an issue for the rest of his career. It's not. He'll be fine next year. I think he just needed a season to get used to it. Did I see the Damian Lillard trade? Yeah, I did. What I think the percentage are with Edward Cabrera? I would actually say they're fairly high, to be honest. Was that Harold Ramirez? I think it was. No, it was Paredes. I was right. They wanted to get rid of him at the deadline, and the Red Sox said no. So I don't know. Yeah, he played 10 months straight. Of course, the last month of a meaningless baseball in his first major league season when he's so close to getting back to being home with his family isn't going to be the best month of his career, right? Outfield is crowded. Yeah, it is. It is, but it depends on which way they want to go. So we'll see. Not at the time, no, Pac-Man. I think it was the right decision at the time to not do that. Justin Turner has been the heart and soul of this team the entire year. And you were 1.5 games out of a playoff spot, right? You just had your best month of the year. I don't think so. Poor guy played like, yeah. I'm excited I'm pumped for the offseason, man. I can't wait. I'm so sick of this season. I want it done now. What does the outfield look like opening day 24? Ooh, good question. I think it'll be Massa in left, Willier in right, and Duran in center. That's what I think it'll be. And then I think Rafael will be traded or put at second base, maybe. I think Doogie will be gone. Do you think? Yeah, Terry Francona will go into the Hall of Fame as a manager for sure. I might not even. Do I even make a video about that? Maybe I'll talk about it this offseason. I don't even want to talk about it, Prodigy. The amount of I was right, you were wrong. Right, exactly. And then you just sort of tuckered out here, which is fine, right? The last 2 months of the season, I would say August kind of hurt, but yeah, that's a tough look on Bloom's part for sure, Pac-Man. That's a rough one. So that's one I would be majorly concerned with if it was true. I don't know how accurate it is. Mike Trout or Juan Soto? I would go with Juan Soto. Hey, Austin, what's going on, my friend? Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Wouldn't mind Sam Fold. I'm good to go with Sam Fold. I think he'll be really good. We'll see though. I just hope they get someone in here as soon as possible, to be honest with you. I hope it's as soon as humanly possible. I don't know if it will be, but it feels like it needs to be. Yeah, I think if the Red Sox laid out on the table a package and both the Padres and the Angels were like, we'll give you Trout or we'll give you Soto, I'm taking Soto every day. Have to get a guy by Halloween? Yeah. Halloween to me feels like the right place. When does the World Series technically end? Um, I'm not sure yet, Prodigy, to be honest with you. It ends. So it could end November 4th. They need to have someone by November 5th, in my opinion. November 5th is when I would say, okay, let's get someone in here. Ozzy Albies? No. Do you know my hoodie is coming? Not yet, Prodigy. When I get the tracking information, I'll let you know. Yeah, they need to be decisive and swift with their changes in the front office. I think they can't take their time as much. Well, okay, here they should take their time, but they should be concise. Like they should know they should have had a list already before firing Bloom, and they should be sort of knocking that list down and seeing who they could get. All right, Fester. I'll talk to you later. Don't get another Bloom guy. Everyone's like, don't get a nerd, don't get a nerd. You need a nerd. You need a nerd. If you want to be the Braves, if you want to be the Astros, if you want to be the Dodgers, if you want to be the Rays, success wise, right? You gotta get a nerd. Just how it goes. I think Terry's done, man. I couldn't see Terry in a front office role. He's such just like a pure baseball guy. I don't think he'd want to deal with the politics of the front office. I think this is kind of it. Burns is a great one. Yeah, Burns is great. Fold, I think, is a little bit of both, right? He's that sort of a super hyper analytical person, but he also studied under Dave Dombrowski for a long time. He understands what it takes, right? Lou Maloney is GM. I would actually really like that. Yeah, Terry Francona going to the Hall of Fame as a manager. Yeah, I get that, CW, and I don't think they will. But what I'm saying is, I think anyone with an analytical background, people would be like, oh, they got another nerd. They don't need nerds in baseball. And it's like, yeah, but you do. You do now, right? That's how the game's won. That's how these teams are doing so well. That's how the Dodgers have been successful for 10 years. That's how, the Braves are going to be successful for another 15 years. What's up, Nick? How you been? That's how the Tampa Bay Rays have been successful for 10 years, It's just this is how it works. Do I think Trout gets dealt? I don't think Trout ends up getting dealt, no. I think he stays with the Angels. Would be fun to think about, though. What tickets are selling for thousands of dollars right now? Yeah, Kershaw's done really well this year. I don't feel bad for Trout at all. I mean, the Angels flat out told him they have an opportunity to trade him, and he was like, nope, this is my team. Next to the dugout's 1.5. I mean, those are always going to be expensive, but you can get good seats right now for like $30. No, he's not, but he did it to himself, to be honest with you. Dave Dombrowski has been in the World Series a lot, right? Yeah. Do I think Rafael will make the opening day roster next year? It depends on what they're looking for, honestly. I don't know. Can't knock him for being loyal, though. But yeah, you also can't feel bad for him when he's had the opportunity to jump ship on this, the Titanic just over and over again sinking. Yeah, we know, Nick. But I just, I don't think, I don't know. I just hope the grass is greener. I hope the grass is greener. I'm in, Pac-Man. I'm in. Yeah, Votto's another one, right? It's not really pathetic. I mean, they're playing against it was a bunch of rookies tonight against Tyler Glasnow. I figured this game was a wash. Last one. Man, there's only one more inning too, Chad. This has been crazy. Marcus Stroman, I'm all set on Marcus Stroman. I don't think he would work here in Boston. I don't think he'd work here at all, actually. This might have been the fastest. This might be the fastest game of the year, which is crazy. I took the under on this game. I think I'm good. The under was like 7.5. I think I'm fine. Cubs ace, Justin Steele. Yeah, I don't think Stroman wouldn't get along with the media either. I don't think that'd be a great fit. Yamamoto, I'm all in on though. Obviously. Yeah, Stroman would be a rough one, I think. Brandon Gomes, yeah, I don't think Brandon Gomes will be likely. I mean, the Red Sox go after scrappy players. Maybe. I mean, that's kind of a broad statement, right? Scrappy players. I think there are a lot of scrappy players already on the team. To be fair, like I don't think they need a ton of scrappy players. They do need a leader though, and who's going to replace Justin Turner if they let him go, right? Who's going to replace him? There's not really anyone on this team that'll fill that Justin Turner role. What's up, Edgar? Crawford, don't remind me. Yeah, Carl Crawford was that was an interesting time in Red Sox history, actually. There have been so many weird ones. I appreciate you being here, Nick. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Devers can lead, yeah, but Devers doesn't really want to be the leader. Who on the team is scrappy? I would say Trevor Story's a scrappy player. I would say Duran's a scrappy player. Turner's a scrappy player, but I don't know if he'll be back. Arenado, that's a terrible idea. Let's not do that. Let's not give up Devers, Verdugo, and Rafaela for Nolan Arenado. Yeah, but you also at the same time, too, you're not going to have Teal or Roman Anthony or Meyer come in there and be like, this is my clubhouse now. It's not how that works, right? Maybe they're going to be a leader on the clubhouse in 2027, 2028, but 2024, 2025, even if they called up and they're fantastic, they're not the leaders. It's not how that works. Brendan Gomes or Mike Hazen. Those would probably be my 1 and 2 too, but I don't think either of them are going to happen. Sam Fold's, I think, a legit candidate. Kim Ng is a legit candidate. I think Eddie Romero could probably still be a legit candidate. I think Josh Burns is a legit candidate. Emil from Arizona is a legit candidate. Devers and Sales, yeah, but Devers isn't really a leader. Like, he's not like the vocal leader. Story might be able to step into that role, but can you really be the leader of the team if you haven't really proven yourself yet? You know? I actually do like the idea of Turner staying. It just depends on, it just kind of limits your versatility, which would be interesting. Devers has to be the leader. You don't have to have your leader be the guy you're paying, But I think Story's an interesting one to me because you're hearing all this stuff about him off the field, and he really does sound like a guy who could legitimately be the leader, right? You talk about the camp he's throwing this offseason for all the minor league infielders to come and just work with him and talk with him. You talk to him about what he's been working on with Rafi to get him back to a good spot defensively after he kind of fell off a cliff, right? You listen to him talk about how he wants to be better for the club and how he deserves to be better. He thinks the fans deserve to see a better side of him. You hear stuff like him coming back early just to be with the team, even though he wasn't ready and he knew his stats were gonna falter, right? David Ortiz talks about Trevor Story being the only one to come up to him and talk to him about, hitting and being a leader. So I think Trevor Story could be that guy for sure. And if they believe he is going to be, then okay, right? But the only thing I would say is he hasn't done anything on the field to back it up. So a lot of these, does that mean anything to these guys in the clubhouse, or do they understand what he had been going through and sort of appreciate him for what he is, I did know Mike Tyson was a Red Sox fan. I saw him in that. Kenley, yeah, I think Kenley could be, but I don't know if he is. I don't know if he's a full team leader. Does that make sense? I'm all in on Story having a good year in 24. I think he will be. I don't know if he was a leader in Colorado. He's also younger, right? He's also younger. He's he's 30. He's going to be 30. He's going to be 31 next year. He's got some time under his belt. I think, he's a different player now. Yeah, Stories, I think he's 30. I think he's 30 or 31. I think he's 30. And actually, I think I think guys looked up to him in Colorado, too. So, Yoshida, I think there might be a language barrier there. Target Chapman. I think I'm all set on Chapman. There's no reason to get Chapman. Oh, you were joking. I think Massa could be a good one if there wasn't that much big of a language barrier. See, people say that. People say like, the days of the clubhouse leaders are fading. Everyone's selfish. Everyone's themselves. I don't think that's entirely true. I mean, at the end of the day, right? You're still a team. You still need a captain of the ship. You still need, especially, even think about your own work life, right? When you were first starting a job, no matter how old you are, right? There was someone you looked to that wasn't your boss that helped you kind of learn the ropes, right? Because even, I can even relate it back to my office job, right? Where when I got in there, I got sort of the overview from my boss of what my day-to-day role was, but it was your veteran coworker. It was your veteran coworker that sort of showed you, the inner workings, who to avoid, who to talk to, what way to word things. You know what I mean? So I don't think that aspect of anything will ever really die. I think there will always be a need for veteran leadership in a clubhouse, especially with where the Red Sox are right now. Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea, Romero. I don't know how many would I don't know how many would take it. I think Spanish or English makes the most sense, yeah. If Matt Olson didn't get traded to the Braves, would you have trade for him or still kept Casas? I would have kept Casas. Yeah, I did. I saw it a while ago, Eric. Thoughts on Kenley expressing frustration? I think it's good. I think it's good that he's holding the front office accountable. I think, especially coming from a guy who was in such historic franchises for so long. I think, I think his input's very valuable, and I think he knew what the team needed, and I think everyone was kind of vocal about what the team needed, and I think, I think it was the right thing to say. I also love that he waited until the sort of end of the season where it doesn't really matter at all. Because if he had done that, right after the deadline, it would have been a whole story. It would have been a big deal. And he just sort of snuck it in towards the end of the year, which I also think is really professional. I respect it. And I think he's not wrong. He essentially said, we have a good team. He essentially was like, we have a good team. If we had a couple of starters at the deadline, we would be in a wild card spot talking about the playoffs and not the offseason right now, basically. I don't think seats next year will start empty. No. Hey, all right. Glad to hear she's feeling better, Dennis. It's good to hear from you, my friends. Don't worry about it. It's all good. There are obviously more important things than sitting here with me. What's up, Madden? We'd be a bigger talk in the offseason? Not sure what you mean there. Just lost $500 from a bet? That's unfortunate. Much stronger national respect. Eric, what are you talking about, dude? Sometimes I think you come in here and just start typing. And then you figure out, like you start with the word baseball and you just sort of type until something comes in and you're like, all right, that looks good. Like, what do you... No, attendance is at an all-time high right now across the league. Viewership across Major League Baseball is at its highest peak in like 20 years. Like, did you do any research before saying that? Or are you basing this all on what you saw one time this year at a Red Sox game versus what you saw in 1972? Do I think Ha-Seong Kim could be a fit here in Boston? Yeah, I think he could. I don't know if they'll trade him. I really don't. What free agent you'll like to see in a Red Sox team when the offseason comes around? Yamamoto. Yeah, like, I just don't understand where that came from, Eric. Like, Musgrove for the Sox? You think Hoy Park would have? No, no, I don't think so. Domestic free agent? Eric, this is just flat out nonsense you're spewing, to be honest with you. Snell, maybe, yeah. Domestic, yeah, probably Snell. I mean, Eric, I literally just threw facts at you, and you're just like, well, Americans respected the game back in 1964. Nah, I'm good with Stroman. I don't think Stroh would work well here. Like of course baseball's gone more international. Everywhere's gotten more international. The entire world's more international than it was in the 1960s. Right, the entire world is. Like, it's like and I just told you, baseball has added some of its best growing numbers it's had in years. Years. Difference in Red Sox history changes one opinion, but it's not an opinion, you're just wrong. Like, you're just wrong, right? Like, you can look up the statistical numbers. Baseball is growing, my friend. So it's not an opinion, you're just wrong, right? An opinion would be, I don't believe that the growth we are seeing in baseball right now will continue and be successful over the course of the next 20 years. That's an opinion, right? You just made a statement and it was wrong. Would I like Joe Kelly back? Yeah, I would take Joe Kelly. Man, we're about to end our last live stream of the 2023 season, chat. That's crazy. Yeah, 1910 baseball was less international, right? Like, I think what's been impressive about baseball too is that we can talk about the 70s and the 20s and the 30s, and yet baseball still be it will still be prominent in American and world societies. Right? The fact that you're arguing whether or not it's better or worse goes to show that it's been prominent forever, right? And I think that's what makes, in my opinion, that's one of the things that makes baseball fantastic, right? It's one of the things that truly makes the game beautiful. You know what I mean? Like being able to talk about Ted Williams and you know, the birth of Babe Ruth, like the legends of Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, Jackie Robinson. You know, I think that's part of what makes baseball so fantastic. I also think one of the other things too is with people like Eric, right? We're blending generations right now in this game, and I don't think you see that as much in other sports. You know, like I don't think you see that as much in other sports, and so Eric, you know, we fight all the time about everything, right? But it's that I love that because, you know, you've a different opinion because you've seen 60 years of baseball, whatever it is, right? I have a different opinion because, you know, I have a different way of looking at the game because I've seen it for less time, and I don't think either of them are invalid. That's what I think is fantastic about baseball. So that's my rant, and it's nothing against Eric. He knows that. Red Sox lose again. Red Sox lose again. Yes, I do, Owen. Yes, I do. They might not win another game this season. Right. They might not win another game this season. But that's it for us, chat. That is it for us. Yeah, this has been, I mean, was it the best season in the world? No, definitely not. Did we have a whole lot of fun doing these, chat? Did we have a whole lot of fun doing these? Yes, we did. This was our best year on YouTube, our best season on YouTube, and it's all thanks to you guys. I mean, we had our first sponsorship this season. We hit a bunch of different milestones this season. As a channel and a community, we did some incredible things this year. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without you guys. And don't worry, I'm not stopping until the next season. We'll be breaking down all the stuff going in the off season this week and next week. We'll be doing a whole bunch of stuff this week, and then we'll sort of break it out. Probably do about, instead of 7 videos a week, probably do about 4. So it'll hopefully, still give you guys some Red Sox content as we moved into the off season here. But yeah, I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you so much. Yeah, it didn't go as we wanted, but I think you guys made this season a lot more enjoyable. It gave me a ton of headaches, and you guys are gonna turn my hair gray, but yeah. So thank you guys, and again, we'll be live. We'll probably be live the second week of October, third week of October. Definitely not Anthony. That was a dumb take. But either way, guys, yeah, this is our last live stream of 2023. If you haven't considered subscribing yet, kind of a weird one to subscribe to the channel to, but hey, we do these all the time, even in the off season, and we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Until that, chat, we'll be plenty of videos coming out in the next 2 weeks for you guys to watch along. But either way, again, I thank you one more time, and I will see you guys in the Red